Is your rotary cutter giving you trouble? The good news is that it's probably a quick fix. Let's go over 5 reasons why your rotary cutter may not be cutting the way you want it to. Number 4 and 5 may surprise you. The first reason is that you may have a dull blade. This is the first thing you should change when your rotary cutter is giving you trouble. Even if you just changed your rotary blade, give this one a try so we can rule out this problem. Dull blades are expected when rotary cutting, and it's important to regularly change your rotary blade. How regularly should you change your blade? Well, even Olfa, the manufacturer of this rotary cutter, says it's not based on time, it's based on how well the blade is performing. So let's go over a quick tutorial and I'll show you how to replace that blade with ease. This method works on both of these rotary cutters. The first step is to remove the nut on the back and set that aside. Next, you'll remove this washer and set it aside. And keep this washer bent side up so that it looks like a cowboy hat, because that's the way we'll replace it back on the blade. I like to keep everything in the order I take it off so that it's easy to reassemble. Next, you'll take out this centerpiece and remove the old rotary blade and replace it with a new one. Now is the time to clean it off, make sure there's no dust or debris under this blade. If you've been using the blade for a while, you may find a lot of lint that needs to be cleaned off. And then lastly, just replace everything in the exact same order. So you'll put the new blade on the centerpiece, place that into the rotary cutter, put the washer on top, and then close it with the nut. When you're screwing on the nut, make sure it's only finger tight. Too tight and your blade won't be able to rotate, and too loose and your blade will wobble. And you may be wondering what to do with those old rotary blades. Well, my favorite tip is to put it right back in the container it came in. I like to keep these yellow containers that my rotary blades come in because they're perfect for disposal. All I do is label one as old, put my old blades in there, and then when it's full, I tape it up and throw it in the trash. Let me know in the comments how you like to dispose of your rotary blades and even your used needles. The second reason why your rotary blade may not be cutting the way it should is because the blade is nicked. Even the tiniest nick on this blade will impact the ability to cut. A sign that this is the problem is when you're cutting with your rotary blade and it doesn't cut through the fabric evenly. It's likely skipping threads every time the blade rotates on that nicked spot. The fix for this problem is, you guessed it, replace the blade. Step 3 is that your blade was replaced incorrectly. Go back to the beginning of this video and replace your blade and it will fix the problem. See why I said to replace the blade first? Because it usually fixes most of these issues. Reason number 4 is that your cutting mat may be damaged. If you've been using a nicked rotary blade for a long time, that nick in the blade can actually damage your mat. Another reason why it's important to regularly change your rotary blades. You can test to see if this is the problem by cutting on a different place on your rotary mat. Try cutting your fabric on a section of your mat that you normally don't use. If your rotary blade is suddenly cutting perfectly, then you know your mat needs to be either cleaned or replaced. My favorite way to clean a cutting mat is just to take warm soapy water and scrub the top of the mat and let it air dry before you use it again. Definitely try cleaning your mat before you replace the entire thing. And lastly, this is the one that surprised me the most, and I did not even know it was possible until it happened to me. You might have 2 rotary blades stuck together. When you open a brand new pack of rotary blades, you'll see they're kind of oily, they kind of stick together, and it's so easy to put 2 on your rotary blade instead of just 1. Let me know in the comments if this has happened to you. So when you're replacing your rotary blade, just make sure that you only have 1 blade. All you have to do is try to slide the blades apart, and if there's 2, then you know that's your problem. If you're worried about doing this with your bare hands, you can use a cloth or a scrap piece of fabric to help protect your hands. Those are the top reasons why I see a rotary cutter not working exactly how it should. And I know the cost of rotary blades can get expensive, so if you have any money-saving tips, you can leave them in the comments below so we can all learn from each other. One thing you could do to get a little extra life out of your blades is when you're done using them for fabric, use them for paper. I've seen a lot of people use old rotary blades for cutting wrapping paper during the holiday season, and I think that is genius. And if you want to learn more about all things rotary blades, you can check out my blog post linked in the description below. I'll see you next time.